Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Satyasha and you are watching with me my third video. So last video में हमने discuss किया था the do's and don'ts in the placement process. Today's video is dedicated to my placement journey. मैं कौन सी companies में बैठी for the interviews, my strategy, what was my strategy during all the time, and the questions asked to me in the interviews. So make sure you do not skip the video at any part, watch till the end, and I hope that this video is useful for you all. An important point over here, I will not be getting into the details of every test that I've given because there were many, and in order to know how to prepare for a company, what all the things you need to prepare, you have to go and check out my last video. So make sure you do that also. Now moving on to my first interview, that was with the Oracle. The first round was the online assessment round, in which we had questions from aptitude, coding, technical, comprehension, grammar, etc. So, and it was a 3-hour long test. I was very determined about Oracle since the starting, so I was well prepared with the test pattern and the type of questions Oracle gave in the test. Also, I was I kept myself very hydrated, so make sure you also do that, because you have to be very patient and calm during the process, because sitting 3 hours long is a very difficult process and you have to be a calm person during that thing. So after the results were declared, I was one of the students who moved on to the technical interview rounds. So there were 3 rounds in total, 2 technical and 1 HR, and my technical round started with my introduction, followed by a basic array question and then a tricky coding question which I was unable to solve within the given time limit, so I was eliminated after this round. So my interview with the Oracle ended over here. Next company in which I was interviewed was the Bank of America. The online test was of easy to medium level, and after the test there were 3 interview rounds, 2 technical and 1 HR, and I went through 2 technical interviews. Both of my interviews were good, and easy to medium level of questions were asked from basic array, stacks, queues type of questions, along with my introduction and some interactive questions also. Although my interviews went well, yet I was not able to make to the HR round. So my Bank of America journey ends over here. The third company in which I was interviewed was Simpress, and unlike the other 2 companies, it had only 2 interview rounds, both technical rounds. HR may or may not be included in those 2 rounds only. Again, I was eliminated after the first technical round. The level of questions asked from me was from medium to hard and very hard. So unfortunately, I was unable to make through Simpress also. Next in my list comes PwC. Talking about the online test, the online test was of easy to medium level, and it consists of questions from both the technical and the aptitude section. In general, there were 2 interview rounds. First the HR and first the technical and then the HR, and I sat in both the technical and the HR, but the rounds may vary according to person. So first technical round was of easy to medium level, and it also depends upon the interview what type of question he or she may ask, depending upon their mood at that time, so be prepared for that also. And after the technical round, I went through the HR round. My HR round started with my introduction and then some interactive questions about like what my hobbies and interests were, and then some basic HR questions, why I want to join PwC, what makes me attracted towards PwC, etc. type of questions. And then I got a very tricky question that was unexpected for me, and which I was unable to answer within the given time. So as a result, I was not selected in PwC also. So the journey of PwC ends here. After PwC, I sat for HSBC, which had a more or less same pattern like PwC, and the level of questions was also from easy to medium. And the technical, there were 2 interview rounds, technical and the HR. I was eliminated after the technical interview round, and so my HSBC journey ends there itself. So next comes Deloitte, which was a very interesting and a very tiring interview in all. After the online test, which was of easy to medium level, we had the first round as the group discussion round. In the group discussion, we were given the topic there itself at the moment, and we were given 5 minutes to prepare ourselves. Our topic for the discussion among 6 people was, can AI replace humans in the near future? So after 5 minutes for preparation, I was the one to initiate the discussion, and we had a great discussion for 15 minutes. After the group discussion round, 2 or 3 people were eliminated from that round, and then we moved on to the technical interview round. So my technical interview was a very interactive and a very interesting one. My interviewer was also very nice and frank to me, and he made me so comfortable over there after a long tiring session of GD. So easy to medium level of questions from arrays, tags, queues were asked to me in that. He was very impressed with me, so I was very confident about this round, and eventually I made it to the HR round as well. The HR round started with my introduction, obviously, and then moved on to the basic HR questions, some interactive questions, and then a very important question arrived, which I think was the one that restricted my entry in Deloitte, was that do I have any plans to study further, to which I answered very confidently that for now I want to work in a very good company like Deloitte, but if time allows, I have some plans to study further, which I think restricted my entry at Deloitte, and I lost a very good and an interesting company from my hand. Yes, it hurts very badly when all your hopes are shattered, when you are broken down into pieces. I was also very tensed when I was unable to make up in any of the companies. My friends were getting placed, and that situation is really very unexplainable. So, but thanks to my family, my friends, my God, who helped me, gathered me all my courage, and I stood up strongly and I sat for another interview, but I never knew this was going to be the end of my search. Last but not the least in my list was Comviva. So after passing the online assessment test, I went through the technical interview round. It was a medium level interview round in which I was asked questions from DSA, Agile Framework, operating system, networking, etc. And then I knew that I would move on to the HR round because the interviewer was very impressed with my confidence and my answers. And then came the 15 minutes fun and interactive HR round with Mr. Puneet Chandel sir. Thanks to him that I had a very smooth and calming interactive HR round, because it was a very long and tiring day so far, and basic HR questions like my introduction, my hobbies, my interests, and why I would like to join Comviva, and how many interviews I had given so far. And then a very tricky and a very clever question from him came, that was why I was rejected in the last round of Deloitte. At this point, I was very nervous when I told him about the question regarding my future plans to study, and very cleverly he asked me the same question again, and now I was standing in the middle of the road, jahan aage kua aur piche khai. He asked me the same question because he knew what was my answer last time and why I was rejected in Deloitte. So I had 2 options, either to tell him a lie that no, I don't have any plans to study further, or to tell him the truth that yes, I do have plans to study further. So I thought for a second, and then I answered with my confidence, and I held the hand of my honesty and told him that yes, I have plans to study further, but for now I want to work and gain experience in a company. After the interview, I cried over again and blamed myself for repeating the same mistake again. This time I had zero hopes for the job, literally zero hopes. But वो कहते हैं ना, जिस काम की उम्मीद ना हो वो काम अचानक हो ही जाता है. And yes, I received a mail after a few days saying that I have been selected as a product development engineer at Comviva. So I gave interviews in a total of 7 companies and online tests in a lot more. Every rejection was painful, very painful, but a lesson for my next step. It got me stronger for every other interview. I did cry at times, and crying is not an issue. You all can cry because it really hurts what you are going through, and crying relieves all the pain for an instant. But I gained my confidence, my hopes, my positivity, my strength, courage every single time I stood out of my bed, and I want all of you to do that also. I learned a lot about many companies, many big companies that I would never explore in my life ever. So I was happy for that, and I was happy that I met new people. I connected with them on LinkedIn, and they are now a part of my LinkedIn family also. So I'm really happy for that. I learned new things from them, from their experience, their journey, their interviews at that time, and now I want you all to learn a bit from my journey and my experience as well. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey. Thank you so much for watching the video till here, and thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you are new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button and support me. And if you like the video, please do hit the like button and share it with your friends and family and those who need it. Also, all the very best for your interviews and your placements. I hope you'll do well. And if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me via LinkedIn. I have put down the LinkedIn ID in the description box. You can check it out over there. Also to check out my previous videos. And thank you so much for watching the video till here. Danke people.